Hello, my name is Nicole Newald and I will be presenting on sexual orientation diversity. There are two reasons why I chose to research sexual orientation diversity. The first is that in college I was familiar with the acronym LGBTQ, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning or queer. Today, I often see the acronym LGBTQQIAAP, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, pansexual, and know next to nothing about the added groups. The second reason is I need to learn more to support the people that I love. My sister identifies as a lesbian, 2 former students are transgender, and a few of my current students identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, and/or questioning. My goals for the presentation are below: to define key terms, to name familial, community, political, cultural, and societal dynamics regarding sexual orientation diversity, and to name specific current events when applicable. And lastly, to name potential implications of sexual orientation diversity for educators. Sexual orientation is defined as who you're attracted to and want to have relationships with. Sexual orientation and gender identity are not the same thing. Transgender, transsexual, and intersex refer to gender identities which may or may not impact sexual orientation. So for the purpose of this presentation, I will focus on the letters from the acronym that focus on sexual orientation: lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, questioning, asexual, and pansexual. One term I do want to note before I move on is ally. An ally is a person who supports people no matter their sexuality, and I myself would consider myself an ally. Some key terms include people who are attracted to a different gender often call themselves straight or heterosexual. People who are attracted to the same gender often call themselves homosexual or gay. Gay women sometimes prefer the term lesbian. Bisexual people are attracted to both men and women. Those that identify as pansexual or queer are attracted to many different gender identities. Questioning or curious people are unsure about their sexual orientation. People who don't experience any sexual attraction for anyone identify as asexual. I do want to caution viewers. I can speak for experience with my own sister that not everyone strongly identifies with a label and not everyone wants a label. My sister always says that love has no labels. She might identify with more than one indicator and does not want to stick with just one. So be cautious when labeling someone. There are many dynamics involved in sexual orientation, and one of the first is familial and community influences. Family members' beliefs and statements have a huge impact on LGBTQ youth. According to the Human Rights Commission, 67% of LGBTQ youth hear their families make negative comments about LGBTQ people. 78% of youth not out to their parents as LGBTQ hear their families make negative comments about LGBTQ people, which may prevent them from coming out. These statistics are from a study from 11,000 youth completed by the Human Rights Commission. There are many political factors in the United States that are involved in sexual orientation. There are only 13 states in the United States that have passed non-discrimination laws and statewide regulations to protect LGBTQ students. Missouri is not one of those states. There are also cultural influences. One of the biggest examples is with religion. Certain denominations within certain religions do not approve of sexual orientation outside of heterosexuals. Many have to choose between their church and their sexual orientation. For example, an article on teachingtolerance.org really hits the nail on the head with an article entitled, "LGBTQ and Muslim are not dichotomous identities. This is a story about the first openly gay imam in the United States. There are also many societal influences. According to the Human Rights Campaign, 70% of students that identify as LGBTQ have been bullied at school because of their sexual orientation. Only 13% of LGBTQ youth report hearing positive messages about being LGBTQ in school, and only 12% received information about safe sex that was relevant to them as an LGBTQ person. There are many impacts for educators. It's been over 20 years since Ellen DeGeneres' article came out in Time magazine, and this was a huge moment in pop culture and current events. We now have with social media, we now have a bigger responsibility to educate the whole child, and it's our responsibility to learn about the different identities our students might associate with. Now, it may be inappropriate to bring their identities up at times when it's not appropriate, but there are always teachable moments, especially when you're talking with your students about bullying and social media and the impact of their words. There are many resources online for educators now. One of the best websites is www.teachingtolerance.org. They have many different topics on the site, one of which is gender and sexual identity. The site provides classroom resources, professional development, and magazine and publications. These are the resources that I used for my research. Thank you for listening.